So you officially went into financial planning industry for the first time in 2007 then. And can you share some of the biggest challenges that you had to come across in your career and how did you overcome them?
It was, well, first thing is, the genesis of my career, my entire career to that point had been on the East Coast, had been in New York City, and all my relationships were in New York or the Mid-Atlantic. While I was traveling, I just decided I wanted to live in the West, and so I came out here to Phoenix and eventually became a regional manager, but was a recruiter at the time, about starting a branch office out here, and he had said to me, of course I had $0 in AUM, nothing. And he said, why don't you join a branch first? You may not want to take on the overhead and do all the things it takes to operate an independent branch until you actually maybe get some clients. But I believed in what I was trying to do, and he apparently did as well, and he was able to waive some of the AUM minimums that RJ had at the time, and opened my business out here in the middle of 2007. And if you recall, what happened really coincided with the market high. We had the GFC, the financial crisis that occurred in the 2008-9, and it was an incredibly humbling time. I wouldn't change it for anything, but it was an incredibly humbling time because you were in a business that literally was falling apart around you, in an environment where people did not want to open their statements, for me, in a place that I had not developed any deep relationships yet. Forced you to do is it forced you to go out and try to get very creative in terms of meeting people, and in terms of trying to at least let people know that you were here and this is what you're doing. And I think the greatest lesson that came out of that was that the world can and will throw experiences at you that you maybe don't expect, and the growth out of that is that you have to accept reality for what it is, and you can either change or adapt to what the environment and the structure is, or you're just not going to be doing it anymore. And I think that applies not only to finance and this business, but a lot of things in life. It's like number one rule, whether it's David Goggins on one hand, I don't know if you're familiar with him, but ultra runner, kind of ex-Navy SEAL, total kind of badass guy, or you have Ray Dalio on the hedge fund side. They're both of them. It's interesting. They phrase it differently, but their number one rule for living is accept reality. Because until you accept reality and where you're at today, you can't make proactive changes for the future. So I think be adaptable, accept reality.
From what I've gotten so far, the biggest challenge was probably getting your initial first few clients then?
Yeah, I think that this is a business. It's about a 90% failure rate for people that get into this business. You get a lot of rejection I think throughout your career, but for sure when you're starting.
Yeah.
And it's hard to be told no 50 times with the hope that maybe the 51st time there's going to be something that occurs there. But it's a lesson, I think, in persistence, and you're either believing in what you're doing, and it's a noble profession, and that one decision that we can potentially help people make can absolutely change their lives in the longer term, or you don't believe that. I think that my regional manager that I had at RJ is a guy named Bill Koonsman, who initially recruited me, wonderful guy, and he told me, I think once my business started to get some traction, the phrase that he gave me is, he said, the most successful guys in our business have a missionary zeal for what they're doing. And now the longer that I've persisted here and continue to expand the business, I believe that. I think that you have to agree that what you're bringing to the table is incredibly valuable, and believe in the nobility of the profession.
So from what I've understood so far, you've been doing this for a long time. I mean, at least for over 15 years, maybe more.
This side of it, almost 30 in the business, but about 17 in this side.